fire up the recording. We'll get that started. Okay. Okay, so I have been kind of sort of working on landscapes, but I haven't made any real progress except in like thinking about something. And I've been trying to think about technique because that's really what I'm missing. Is a lot of the time I know what it is I'm trying to do. I know the effect that I'm trying to achieve, but I don't know how to use my tools to get that effect. And the only way to really do that is to experiment with the tools. There's not really a whole lot of there's not really a whole lot of instruction on that with digital art. People are just kind of like, oh, you use this brush. Well, that doesn't actually tell you what the qualities of that brush are that make it possible to get what you're trying to get. So that's weird and frustrating, and kind of the thing I'm always working with is I'm trying to figure out how do I get the effect that I'm looking for. And one of the things that I've been working with is to I've been doing like skies and whatnot, and what I tend to do is I come in here and I use this sort of soft shading brush, and I just go very, very high up in the space. I do something that's pretty highly saturated, like this. And you can see I've got it it's kind of see-through. Why is that coming out to... Oh, that's because I'm on a green layer, not on like an actual... And no, I don't want that. Click to the layer below. Okay, so it's like you just kind of rough in this very saturated part up here. And you take that down a bit. And then you go, okay, we're going to go a little bit lower. And as you go lower in the sky, you're going to become less saturated and lighter. So you get down here and you just kind of, you have a band there. And because I'm working with a soft shading brush that I built, this just kind of gradually gets a little bit lighter as you go down until you get this sort of almost white color down at the end. And you can kind of go the other way with it, and you go farther up and you just go, okay, I want to kind of shift that a bit. And you end up with this kind of atmospheric effect, which is the sort of thing that you're looking for a sky. And then the thing that I was thinking about beyond that is, if you put in, no, let's, that there. But if you take yourself another layer and you go, okay, well, we want to do like some dirt. So let's start with some dark dirt. I use like a very stark sort of line brush. This should really be in front of that. So you just kind of do this stark line brush and you go, here's a kind of a landform that sits in there. And then you can take that and you go, well, if this is going to be the farthest piece of that, then from there, and this is why I typically use like a palette. I'm going to kind of do a little swatch there. So now from here, if I take like a kind of a large or a kind of a light color here, I can sort of and sort of swipe that in and thin that out a bit. And actually, I should be I should grab, no, that's the wrong layer, because I'm an idiot. So what I should be doing here is I come down here and I do just this bit. And one of the things that I've been kind of working with is this should be stronger down lower to the ground. Down here. So I want to like start down here and make it kind of very light, and then just kind of take this sort of mist effect farther up. And then from there, we can now we get rid of that and we go, okay, now starting from our initial brown here, if we take this and we just go, okay, we're coming closer, so let's make it a little bit lighter. And then we go with our Stark brush, and we just kind of go, okay, so here is a closer area of the ground right here. And now you see that we've got that kind of mist effect that shows that there's some difference there. And now we can go from here. We can take our magic wand and that is way too high a tolerance. Let's take that down to about 4. There we go. And then from that we can once again go, all right, now we want something that's kind of light, like around here. And then we go back to our brush and we go to our soft shade and we just go, okay, now we're gonna start way down here on the bottom, and we're gonna kind of get that mist effect going there. And then you can move on from that and you can go, okay, well, once again, we're going to start from our original brown and we're going to go take that one and we're going to go a little bit lighter and a little bit more saturated there. Let's deselect and we'll go back to our line and we'll say, okay, now here is kind of the final area right there. And this doesn't need an atmospheric effect because it's right up in the front. And I look at that and I kind of feel like this has some depth to it. This has some depth to it, and you can kind of see that that it's going back in space. And because you can see that it's going back in space, then that works reasonably well. The only problem is this isn't really giving a landscape feel to me. And this is also one of these cases where I've placed the horizon line in the wrong place. If we come over here to our notes layer, I've kind of placed the horizon line like right here. Well, it's really more like right around here. That's our horizon line. And you can see that I've kind of done it in it's 2/3 of the way down, but it would be a better composition if I placed it about 1/3 of the way down. So I have more space for the different areas of land. So that's a compositional issue that I'm dealing with. I'm sorry, what the hell was that? Adjust your soundboard volume. What the fuck? No, why is there a soundboard? I don't want a fucking soundboard. Why are you interrupting my goddamn stream with this bullshit, Discord? But that's kind of the issue that I'm working with here. Oh, okay. Somebody else jumped into the stream there. Okay, but yeah, So sort of the thing that I've been working on is trying to get this whole technique of you've got these different layers of land in the landscape. Like if I create yet another one over here, if I jump in here and we go, okay, down here in our flat color, actually let me create a new layer here. We'll drag this up and we'll put it right over top of the flat color, and then we'll do from here, we'll do another one. This one here will be our sky, and here we'll think in terms of where we want that sky to be. And I'm going to do a kind of a darker blue here. So we're going to start there, and we're going to go with we're going to start with a line actually, and we're just going to say, okay, the sky is going to come down about a third of the way, so that's going to be our full sky. So if I do this kind of bright right here, then I can come in from this and I can go, okay, soft shade, we're going to take this down to about here, and now we just kind of shade up from the bottom and give that a kind of an atmospheric effect. And I was actually thinking in terms of you could probably shade this down and do like you could probably hue shift this. Now, like you move it down over here, and now you put that in. And you can go even farther around and go a little bit lower and just get these gradations. And I'm thinking that what you could probably do is you could get a sort of a sunset effect. Because as you come around, that's kind of how the sunset works. Because as the sun sinks farther down in the sky, what you end up with is it's going through more and more light, and that light is blocking more and more of the shorter wavelengths until you start getting down really low, and only the red is coming through. And that looks like that could give you the kind of that sort of setting sun effect. But I would come farther down and you'd get that kind of pink there, and then you would want to get it kind of orange right around here, and then all the way down to a yellow all the way down there. You get that kind of sunset thing going on, and then you can jump into your main layer, and you can go, okay, well, here's our first actual land mass, and you could go right around here. You have kind of a dirt thing going on there. And then, let's go ahead and create a, no, let's not. Let's not lock it to the transparency. And then we could go a little bit, there you go, up a little bit, and we could do the next layer back, like so. And then let's lighten that up a bit more, and we'll come a layer closer again. And now we're getting more of a, keep hitting the scroll bar over there. So now we've got kind of these three layers, and we've got this gradation in the back. So we've got kind of a sunset thing going on. And now what we can do is we can take these things farther in the back, and we can go, hey, using the soft shade brush, I can just come in here and sort of just kind of jump in there like that, and then I can jump into the next layer and just sort of get that there. But I'm not sure about the colors I'm selecting. I do feel like I am accomplishing something with this. I'm just not sure whether it's the something that I want to be accomplishing. It's an interesting effect, but I'm not sure whether it's exactly the effect that I want. I just I like the look of it, you know? I'm not sure whether I can get that to read as just sort of being as being like land going off into the distance. I do feel like that's something, though. And I feel like this is one of the things that that as you're working on any kind of artistic style, one of the things that you do is you figure out how to draw a thing, and you just draw that thing over and over and over again, because you're like, this is cool, I know how to do this. But you know, I've got this thing that I've figured out how to do. It's just this technique with the tool, and I'm not sure whether that's actually going to be terribly useful, but that's what I've been working with. And I do feel like part of this, like I could take this and I could put it out there and go, hey, here's a thing I did. And I'm sure a lot of people would go, wow, that's pretty nice. I mean, there's something to it. I just don't feel like, it's necessarily the thing that I'm wanting it to be. And another thing I've been thinking with this is I've been going, I'm starting with this kind of brown color. So, what if, having started with this brown color, what if I lock the transparency? And having locked the transparency, I just go, okay, well, now I'm going to put some grass on that. And I could use like the soft shade. And this is the right place, right? Yeah. I don't just lock alpha, right? Come on, what is going on here? That doesn't look like it's... No, it actually is. It claims in the layer preview to be making changes, but I am not seeing those changes. This is odd. Now, see, that's working fine up here. So what I can do lock transparent pixels does not seem to be doing what I want it to do. Yeah, it's not actually painting in the main picture. There's some kind of weird thing going on with this layer that is not going on with this layer. It's a weird kind of bug. But I would want to lock transparent pixels on that too. Oh, it's because I'm painting on the wrong layer. That's not, yeah. So, these three right here, I'd want to lock transparent pixels on all three of them. Here's the back one. Yeah, there we go. So if I were to like paint some grass onto this, I was thinking that like if I paint some grass on there and then I go, okay, having painted a bit of grass on there, I'm going to shift that in the blue direction and kind of go, here's where the shadows are, over around in here. So I could kind of just paint the low lights, and then I could come over here and come more in a yellow direction and just go, okay, in a much lighter sort of and I could come in here and add some highlights. And maybe just like come across the top of it. We'll sort of backlight it a little bit. And just sort of hit those areas there. And then we could do a similar sort of thing with each of these. We just go, okay, we're going to come over here in this green direction. And we're going to use a very soft shade to give ourselves some grass across here. And put that grass in, and then we can go, all right, in a much more of a blue area. We're going to lower this down, and we're going to go, okay, here's like the low-lying area there. And because we're working in sort of a transparent effect, we've still got that green going on, and we've still got this brown going on up here. But by locking the transparent pixels, we're not going up over and into the other area. And they could swing over here into this yellow area, make it a little bit more saturated, and we can sort of go across there and give it more of a highlighted space here. Then come back down around here and come to our closest layer. And get very wide and very broad on that. But I'm not sure how well that works to kind of paint that in. I feel like if we take the line brush at this point and we just go, okay, let's go a little bit darker and let's get very, very green, I could probably just sort of like draw a couple of little tufts of grass. Okay, at this point, I wouldn't want the I wouldn't want the transparency protected, but let's come over here and do some let's do that atmospheric effect again, going back over this. And we'll go soft shade, and we'll come all the way to the back, and we'll sort of go atmospheric across this. Then we'll switch the next one over, and we'll go atmospheric across there. Don't need a guide in there. So get that in, and then we'll get a kind of a low-lying fog down here, but just kind of barely in there. Really, let's leave that off at the closest one. And then we'll come over here and do a kind of a bold dark green, and we'll go all right, we'll use our line. We'll stick to layer 3, and we'll turn off protect alpha, and we'll just kind of do a little kind of, still a little bit heavy on this. Okay, let's pull that out. And we'll just do a little tuft of grass here and a little tuft of grass there. Tuft of grass up here, maybe. We'll do some smaller ones back here. And we won't do any tufts of grass back all the way in the back. Boy, those need to be on that back layer, don't they? We got our little tufts of grass up here. And then we scoot back to that next layer and we turn off that and we go. And we do much smaller sort of tufts of grass. Those first few way too big. So, we do these smaller tufts of grass, and then we jump in and we take this, we take again this atmospheric, we go into with our soft shade, and we just go, let's put that little atmosphere effect over top of the grass. And then we'll do the same thing here with our frontmost. That might read a little better. I'm still not sure how I feel about this. I'm not sure that this looks good, but I feel like I am getting somewhere. Like, obviously you don't want to draw every single blade of grass. That's fucking ridiculous. But making your way across this and just kind of putting these little spatters of these little bits of grass through there, it's the same thing as like when you draw a brick wall. If you draw a brick wall, you don't want to draw every single brick. Like, you start off with your kind of orangey red. You come in here to your flat color and you just kind of, you put your brick red down, but you don't draw every single brick. What you do is you come in here and you just sort of, in small ways, you just kind of like, you come in, you do like a bit of brick, like right here. And you don't finish it per se. You just kind of do that little bit to go, hey, this is a brick wall. And then that kind of tells people, oh, this texture goes across the whole thing. And maybe you do a little bit over here. But you don't do the whole brick wall all over the place. You don't do every last bit. That's not the way that you present the appearance of a brick wall. You always get these people that want to do every last little thing. And you can't do every last little thing. You'd be working on the same thing for like 50 years. So you just paint the effect of the detail and not the detail. And I feel like this is something, and I'm getting somewhere, but it's not close to where I want to be yet. I'm looking at doing like actual recognizable backgrounds that look like something, and I'm not really doing a good job on that. Like, one of the issues with this is there's no place for a person to really stand. You know? Like, if you were to put a character into this, where would that character go? And there's no obvious place for that. Also, this land is too flat and there's not enough feature to it. There should be like rocks and shit, and there should be trees and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm just really tired. I'm gonna probably bail on this and just go to bed. I can barely keep my eyes open. I don't even know if I'm making any sense. Anyway, do the little YouTube dance, like, comment, subscribe, all of that happy horse shit, and okay, bye.